Hello everyone, welcome once again to another Power BI tutorial by Team SlideScope. In this part, we are doing hospital patients insurance record analysis, and you can see here that we have created a simple dashboard. It is an interactive dashboard. Obviously, we can put more filters over here where we have used these KPIs. These are dynamic KPIs. If you will select a particular type of insurance, or if you will select a particular gender, you will be able to see records by your selected value, where we have patient counts, what is average age of these patients, average days they were admitted in hospital, average bill amount, average test score, and bed utilization index that is created with the help of calculate function by applying simple filter. We have used a very big amount here. We can also select something like 20, and you will be able to see that this will change. What is meaning of this? How have we created a dashboard like this? In this dashboard, I was focusing more on doing some kind of creative designing, so and not on so many graphs. But yes, we have more questions that we are going to cover in second part of this series. So let's get started with this part and learn. So the data set that we have today with us is hospital patients, medical bill and insurance data set. It is for analysis and machine learning training purpose. You can see in the data set I have written purpose. You can do it for academic projects, data science learning, BI dashboards and statistical modeling. We have patient ID, which is identifier. Then we have age, numerical data, days admitted, numerical data, test score, then medical bill amount, gender, department, type of insurance. This type of information is given here, and treatment outcome is given, whether it's critical, recovered, whatever was the outcome. And for every record we have test results score also. This test result score is a synthetic score between 0 to 100 representing diagnostic or test result. Higher score often reflect more severe or complex cases. In such kind of data sets, we can take any variable as a target field. For example, test result score can be there, days admitted or medical bill amount, or even categorical fields like insurance type also. So let's get started with this data set by loading it in your favorite BI tool. We will quickly open Power BI desktop. Because the file is given as a CSV file, we will use the text CSV connector. We will locate our file, connect it and open. Once the file is loaded, particularly CSV files, make sure your column headers are aligned properly. If not, you can go to transform data. If you are seeing column 1, column 2 instead of these headers, you can click on this icon here and use first row as header. You will find this option here in this Power Query Editor. In Power Query Editor, we are in the Home tab. This file is fine, so we will not make any changes, and obviously there is no need to apply changes, but we will simply ignore it. Once changes are made, you will be able to see your data set here. Make sure you save this file. So I will save it as hospital patient insurance data. So here I will just save it here. Now we have to prepare our canvas. This is canvas. What I do for some last videos you must have seen, what I'm doing is I use Canva, and using Canva I create these kind of dashboard backgrounds. These are simple images that I have used, and then using this visualization setting, format your report page. In canvas background, we can browse this image and put it here. and we can give it a transparency of 0%. So this is hospital patients insurance records analysis, and you can learn data analytics at slidescope.com. Also, we provide data analysis training via interactive online classes. These monitors I will use for KPI, and rest of this area will be used for other visuals. KPIs are key performance indicators in a hospital patient records dataset like this, where we have numerical columns like age, days admitted, test records or test result score, medical bill amount, and patient ID. We can create some KPIs. For KPIs, we are going to use cards. I will just collapse this filter. In this card, what we can do, for example, first important parameter or field is patient ID identifier. So in modeling tab, I am going to create a new table. This table will be called as measures table. All the measures that we are going to create via DAX, with the help of DAX, data analysis expressions, will be stored in this table, so that our data set is clean. We will not mix them. This is not necessary. You can create these measures in this table also, but I am just doing separately. We will create new measure, and we will just call it patients count, or count of patients, or number of records, whatever you want to call it. And these can be done with the help of count rows or distinct count function. So we are going to use count rows because every row has a unique patient ID. So count rows is going to give you that data, like how many rows are there, are actually how many patients are there. And here you have to mention table name, which is hospital patient records. So we will use this table. You can see it is taking this table as argument here. So we will just provide this and create a record. Now patient count is there. We will just drag it here. So you can see we have 350 patient records. We will just try to resize it so that it can fit properly within our placeholder, which we have created here as a hospital monitor. So now we have this. Here you can see we have category label. We can disable the category label if you want to put category label on top. And here we can write patients count or count of patients. We will align it to center, and now we can disable its background. So in effects, we can disable its background because background is dark, font is dark, we have to change it. Call out value, let's make it 40 pixel. Color, let's use this color so it is visible. Same with title. If you want, you can give a different color. So you can see we have different colors here. Something, most of the medical institutes or hospitals, they use these kind of blue colors. You can see somewhere in the image also. So I'm just going with that. I will make it bold, and this is patients count. It's okay. Now we have the record. Now we will copy it, paste it here. After patient count, we also have age. So what is age? Average age. So obviously age is a numerical value. So for this, we will just drag it here. Sum of age will not make sense here. We are just going to use average age. So you can see average age of these patients is 42.23. So here we are going to use this average age, and we will call it average age of these patients. Since we have a space, so we can write average age. So when we click on it, we can copy and then paste. So or Control C plus Control V. So this way we will copy it one more time. When these patients were admitted. So days admitted count is given here. So we will also try to find out what is average days they were admitted. So you can see on an average a patient was admitted for a month, we can say. So here we have average or average days admitted. I'm also trying to create this or use this image where you know these doctors are looking at report. So let's try this. So if this image is better, we can try. So it's your choice how you want to represent your record. So this is one image. I use these monitors where I will put other visuals, and you can see because we use the same size, so records are properly fitting on these monitors. Now average days admitted. Then we also have bill amount. So for that we can click on it once again, and we will just drag it here, and here also we can use average. As I said, in these cases I am just using this, we are just dragging fields and changing the function here. But if we have to find out, so we can create a new measure, and we can, let's try again. So we can call it average bill amount. So we can just use this. If you want to use the term medical bill amount, you can use that as well, but we are just using average bill amount. And here we have to use average, not average A or X, because we are creating a measure. And here we will just select the medical bill amount average and just do it. Next is we will just drag it here. On an average they have given 5.50k. How is it showing k? It is 1000. So here you can see in your call out value display units is there. So if you will select none, it will try to show the entire amount. If you want, you can represent it in millions also, but here we are just showing 1000. So this is this, and obviously we have to change the title. So this will be average bill amount, and if it is in USD you can write that as well. Now after this we have very important test result score. So here you can see test result score, as I stated earlier what it represents. So what is average test result score is also something we have to find out. So I'm just copying and pasting here, and this will be average test result score. This is first part of this series. So obviously in this first part we will not focus on complicated DAX questions or complicated question that will require a lot of DAX queries or DAX expressions to be created. But in next part definitely we are going to do that. So you can see, if instead of auto, if we select 1000, it will always show 1000. Auto, it will show automatically, it will select the best unit possible. And here it is average test score. So we will just change it, average test score. Because we are using title, so we have to change it again, but we can make it dynamic also. That is something that we will cover later. This is average test score, and after average test score we will need another measure. So in my dataset description here, I have also given some sample analytical questions that you guys can try. Which hospital department generates highest average? Do older patients tend to stay admitted for longer periods? These kind of questions. So we are going to solve a lot of these questions. We have done it in our previous chapters also. So here you will find many of such cases where I have used these kind of questions. and we will try to solve some of them today as well. So let's try to find out something that is called bed utilization index. That means if patient is, we are just taking this condition that patient admitted for more than 7 days divided by total patients into 100. So here you can see in DAX a variable is created that is called total patients that we have already created. Then we are using long stay patients where you are using calculate function. We are using count rows function, but in calculate function we are counting same thing, because in calculate function first argument is your expression that you want to calculate, second is your filter. So in filter we are applying hospital patient record days admitted is greater than 7. Before that, let's check if there what is the minimum days admitted. So you can see in some cases minimum days admitted is 1, 2, 3, 4. So yes, we can apply that formula. So we are applying this formula, which is bed utilization index. So to use that, we can right click here, create a new measure, because it's a single value, so we can use that. So here first we are creating this variable, then using count rows that we used earlier. Then we are creating another variable called long stay patients. We are using another calculate function. In calculate function, you have to give your expression, which is going to be the same expression like counting total number of patients. But in calculate function, second argument is your first filter. That is in this table, in this column, it is greater than 7. If you want to take it more than 15, let's say for you it is more than 15, so you can find out that as well. So then finally we will use divide function. In divide function you write numerator comma denominator, so long stay patient, how many patients have stayed for more than 7 days, divided by total number of patients into 100. This will give us a percentage. So now we have this, and we are going to use this here, bed utilization percentage. So or we can simply call it long stay patients. You can see in our case more than 92% patients have stayed for more than 7 days. That because this is how the data is. Let's say what if we say more than 40. So if you do that, so you can see only 30.86% of patients are more than have stayed for more than 30 days. So whatever criteria you want to put here for long stay percentage, so you can put it here, and we call it bed utilization index. If any one of you has done some work in medical field and you want to suggest some more KPIs, or you want to correct something, please help us so that other students who want to do these kind of projects will also be benefited with that. Now after this we will solve some questions. So let's say test result is score, average test result is score is our target field. So how are we going to calculate things like what is average test result is score by department, by gender, by insurance type? So that is what we are going to find out. For that, first thing, let's say we want to find out department wise average test result is score. For that, we will take a simple stacked column chart. In this stacked column chart, we will select department, and on y axis we will select average test score. So that's why this test result is score that we created, average test. So we can create a measure also. So let's create a simple measure, average test score. Going to use average. In second part I will demonstrate use of average x as well, like in which case we can use average x. Then here we will take test result score. So this is average test score. and we will put it on y-axis. So this is average test score by department, which gives us an indication that in general medicine, average test score is 52, which is highest. In orthopedic, it is 51, and then in pediatrics, it is low. Test result score between 0 to 100 representing diagnostic or test result. Higher score often reflect more severe or complex cases. You can see in which department we have more severe or complex cases. We will now use, because I created this monitor size, so like these doctors are looking at these results. So this is how we can adjust that. In here you can see we have these axes. So just to give us more space, I can disable title. Here we have other settings, like for example we have title. So in title we can select a text color like this, make it bold, align it to center, and you can see we have this area. Then we have y-axis. In x-axis we can see we have this area. So you can see how much space can we use. If you will increase the size, you will be able to read these values as well. So if I'm using 35, we can read these values. So whatever suits your requirement, you can select accordingly. Now we also have data label setting. If you enable data label, you will be able to see these values, uh, obviously department wise, and that's why we can disable this also if we want. So this is actually y-axis values. So this way you can show average test score by department. And here you can, if you want, you can change color, see which color suits your requirement. You can see we have concatenate labels. We have different type of option, like layout is given. We can change this. We will deal with this later also. Now we can create a copy because monitor sizes are same, so it will be able to fit it properly. After department we also have gender. So we want to see average test score by gender. So we will just select gender here, and we have average test score in case of female is approximately 51. Then we have for other gender it's 50.48, and for male is 48.94. If you want, you can show it as a donut chart also. In donut chart you can see it also shows percentage. So when you are selecting data labels, you can decide, let's say we just want to show percentage, so you can show that as well. So this way you can select the average test score by gender card. These are, these visuals can have some kind of transparency also. If you want, let's say we can show 10% transparency if you want to show. So I'm just going to select this, and I'll check if it suits, then I will definitely select it. This is average test score by gender. Let's create another copy. Next categorical field for us, an important categorical field for us, is insurance type. On the basis of insurance type, what is average test score? So once you have a categorical data, you can also utilize a tree map. In a tree map, you can see, for example, if we select or show the records in the same way, then a tree map, the area of these rectangles represent numbers, and like if number is higher, area will be also more, and it is also sorted. So for example, for female highest, then other, then male. So it goes like this. So here is in place of gender we will select insurance. So you can see people who have taken private insurance, Their average test score is appearing as 51.61. With government it is 49.48, and people who don't have insurance, their test score is lower. You can see as it is representing severity, so you can see people who have taken private insurance have this score showing more severity in their cases. Now obviously, for treatment outcome, whether treatment outcome was good or whether treatment outcome was critical, diseased or improved or recovered, so you can select that as well. Similarly, uh, in this example I have focused more on this kind of designing just to show how you can add some creativity in your dashboards. Obviously I should have added more monitors here because I have many charts to show, which I will do in the second part. Here I was just focusing on using this kind of data, this kind of background, and doctors looking at monitors and all. So when we select one categorical and one numerical, the charts that you can select are bar chart, you can select a funnel chart, you can select a tree map. If data is of location type, you can select a field map. But let's say, what if we want to analyze what is correlation between medical bill amount and test result score? Both of them are numerical continuous fields. So for that, preferred type is a scatter chart. So we will select this and put it here. So now this monitor is bigger. So let's fit in this monitor. Okay. And here we are going to use two numerical fields. So here I am going to select a scatter chart. In a scatter chart, we can put one independent variable on x-axis and dependent on y-axis. So for example, let's say, because we are considering test result score is our field that we are considering as our target field, so we will put it on y-axis and medical bill amount on x-axis. It will not show anything, so we will say don't summarize and say don't summarize. So this is medical bill amount and test result score. So this is bill amount versus test score. So I have just renamed the title, and because I have created this data in a fabricated way, so you can see this medical bill amount is pretty much it has a correlation with test score, that if medical bill amount is increasing, test result score is also increasing. So that means if severity is more, then bill amount will also be more. So that's how you can read this data. Forget about bill amount or test result. Let's say this is x and y. This simply represents if you will increase x, then the and y have a strong correlation. That means the chances of y getting increased are also very much. For example, what happens in case of Ohm's law? V is equal to IR, where voltage is directly proportional to current. So there also, if you plot graph between voltage and current, it is a straight line. And here in Power BI also you can add further analysis and you can enable a trend line. This trend line shows that they have a strong correlation. How you want to show trend line, you can select, and you can select its color as well, whether you want to select a different color. Even for your scatter chart that you have here, so you, for example, you have markers. What type of markers do you want to use? Size of marker, their color. Let's say I'm going to select this color, so you can select a color like this. So this is our simple first dashboard in this series. I am naming it as dashboard 1. There will be a lot more dashboards, more meaningful dashboards, where we are going to solve a lot of questions. As you can see here, some you can try these questions. Does insurance coverage type influence treatment outcome? Which we can see yes by a small amount, but it does. So this is something that you can try from your end. If you want this background, you can ask in comment section, I will provide, or you can create using Canva. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel because we are bringing more and more videos like this for you guys, whether you are a working professional or learning Power BI or data analysis. If you have suggestions or questions, or you want us to create some kind of dashboard, please ask them in the comment section. Some students have requested and we are working on it. So thanks once again. Have a nice day.